The Current Cut, your new go to spot for everything trending. We're serving up the hottest music, bold fashion, real local news, and exclusive artist interviews, all in one place. Stay in the know now. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Current Cut Radio. Let's cut to what matters. This is The Current Cut.
24 hours in a day, yeah. Wonder where you been so long. Wonder where you been. 24 hours in a day, yeah. 25 you've been away, yeah.
All right. For those who don't know you, how would you introduce your musical style?
Um, oh, that's a good question. I would probably say, probably a cross between soul and reality. Like,
Okay.
yeah. Very like it's soulful, but very, very relatable.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll be the first to say, yeah, when you popped up on my feed, I was like, oh, no, yeah, let's follow. I'm tapping in. Yeah, that 24 hours. If you
So,
guys don't know, tap
yeah,
into that.
yeah,
Okay. That thing is fire. It needs to be on the radio ASAP.
that was Sanaya. It's going. It's definitely going.
Yeah, it needs to. I was like, oh, yeah, this is a hit for sure.
That's super dope.
Now, let me ask you, what like inspired you to get into music?
So it's gonna be a funny story. So,
Yeah.
before I was doing music, I started out doing poetry,
Okay.
but it wasn't for like like these deep reasons. It was kind of superficial. It was really to like separate myself from like some of the other guys in school
Yeah.
back back in like high school. It was like back when MySpace was going.
Yep.
And I was like, how could
Back
I
in
be
the day.
so like I used to do like these poetry like posts on Thursdays, and so I would let all the girls know like, oh, I'm about to write a poem about you on like my MySpace page on
Oh
Thursday.
my
And
god.
so I wouldn't tell any of them which one it was, and so they
Yeah,
would have to go look and see. And once I saw, they would all comment thinking it's about them, and they were creating competition with each other. Oh no, this is about me because he said da 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 da, and that
definitely
and that
high
grew
school.
over school. Yeah, and so and so that evolved into me becoming a musician.
Okay, okay. That's dope though. I like that. Different process, but hey,
Yeah, very much
it got
so.
us
Very
to the
much so.
process, so here we are. Do you collab with any other local artists?
Um, well, yeah, like I do. So I was gonna say like like the biggest artist that I have an official record with is my dog, my bro, Pimpin from Franchise Boys. Franchise Boys, they're like
Okay.
yeah. And so me and him
Yeah.
we have a song out called Anywhere. It's a very dope, sexy record. You would definitely love it. It's called yeah, like
Okay. I'm gonna have to check that out.
yeah. You're gonna have a good time with that one. But yeah, him, I've worked I work with a few local artists. Yeah, a few local artists. I haven't put everything out yet. Another
Yeah.
artist, Next Guy. He's from Detroit. He's a super producer from Detroit, and one of my closest partners now. Me and him do have a record out, but I've been a little bit particular about just collaborating for the sake of collaboration because I'm such a purist with the art form. Like I love the art for real,
Yeah.
and I don't want to just say, oh, you could just pay me some money and I'll do a song with you. I'll
Right.
be I'll be wanting to really know like, are you really like a fan of the art or is it just a lick for you? If
Right.
that's
Like,
if
'cause
that's
all
the case,
money ain't good money. We know that.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, like that's the case. I'm not interested. Like I want to work with people who really love the
Yeah,
art. I'm a real creative.
for sure. I can dig that. Which song that you have currently means the most to you and why?
Ooh, well, every song means the most to me, but I was gonna say, but not to be cliche, the one that's probably like the most. So there's a few songs that are just like really, really, really transparent for me, like more than the others. Probably the song "Heartbeat" is still probably the most personal record I've written. That song was about my oldest son. I have two sons um,
Okay.
from my ex fiance, and my oldest son. He was the that song was to and about him when her and I had like first split and she moved back to her hometown in North Carolina. It was like that was the first time I wrote a song and shared it with the world, and I was just really like really vulnerable on the record, and
Yeah.
so um, that was it's probably still that one because I remember when I had shared it with some people and they were just like, I remember one of my friends. It was an older lady at the time too. She had actually cried when I played it for her.
Oh God. All right. Yeah. So heart in the art.
Yeah, yeah. She was just like,
I
oh
got
my,
you.
yeah. She's like, what's the song called? I said it's called Heartbeat, and she was just like, that's the perfect name for it. She's like, cause she like it made me, just really feel it, and so that's probably the most personal one for sure.
Got you. All right. So we're gonna have to go check out Heartbeat.
Gotta
All
check
right.
Heartbeat,
So
especially if you did have anything in relation, like with children or I mean just a loved one in general that for whatever reason you felt like you know they were kind of taken from you unjustly. Like you definitely gonna feel it.
yeah, something like you can really either remember someone by either like currently or in the past.
No, for sure, yeah. And again, and I wrote it in a way to, I didn't want to, because I'm a fair person, and so I didn't want to write it in like, oh, bash, like my kid's mom. So
Yeah,
it's not a woman bashing record. It's literally just me speaking to my state of mind in that moment, and for the first time, like, oh wow, this is what broken feels like for me. Yeah,
I
it's
got you.
yeah, as soon as it comes on, it's like, oh, he went there. Yeah.
And I think those are like the best songs, like the ones you can relate to and like connect easily just because it's genuine.
Yeah, I've never performed that song either because I don't know how like how that performance would go. I'm like I don't know. I'm like like I barely even play it. It's that personal for me. Like I don't play it that often.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what when folks are bringing up. You don't talk about that song Heartbeat. I'm like yeah, I don't.
I think this is like all things that are like close to you, you're like you love it, you want to share it, but you're like
Yeah,
guarded with
and
it
like
a
I said, and we're in a great space now. Me and my kid's mom, like I said, like we're in a great space. Like, but
good.
yeah, it just reminds me of that, like how dark it can get for you at times.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
And coming out the other end. I see you.
Hmm.
I got you. All right. So how do you stay connected like with your local audience, with your fans?
Um, so with me, like I be outside. I go out, I touch the people, and being in Atlanta, there's always something going on, always, constantly. And so I'm at different events, whether I'm performing or not. And then I'm tied in with a lot of other major artists too. So I'm kind of out with them too. Like if I'm on the road with franchise boys or someone, and wherever we're going, I'm touching the people there. I'm networking, constantly talking to people, introducing them to me if they're not familiar. And then, like I said,
Yep.
local, I'm at events, I'm at parties. I may pop up. Like we were at a taco place a couple weeks ago, and like
Mhm.
one of my partners was like, "Hey," he asked the manager. He was like, "Do y'all control the radio station?" And the guy was like, "Oh," he's like, "Yeah, it's a Pandora station." He was like, "Do you have access to it?" And he was like, "Yeah, you want to make a request?" And so he like requested my song in the taco place, and it was just like,
That's so cool.
and we got some love in the taco spot, and people are like, "Oh, that's him!"
I
Like, yeah,
love
it's me. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what's your socials?" And yeah, so we touch them everywhere we can. Yeah. Anybody I come across is
yeah. And I think like that is like different from what a lot of other people like artists like the approach is very removed. It's kind of just like really you're in the studio and you're not really getting out there and talking to like your community and people that are like really supporting you. So I think that in itself definitely helps, like people kind of feel you more.
100%, 100%. Yeah, they feel you more, and it just reminds them of like when you do get to wherever you're going, they'll always have that memory of oh I remember I met him here in this space, and he was so relatable,
Hmm.
and that's like my big thing. Like
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm a man of the people.
Okay, so we be outside.
Be
Yep,
outside.
yep.
We in
We
Atlanta.
be out.
Yeah, we like you have no choice but to be. Like you have no choice.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do.
yeah, it'd be all different times of the day. There's always something going on in the city. Yeah, and I be like I said, I be outside, but I be out the way though. I go out, I
Yeah,
go where I
in
need
the
to.
cut.
Yeah,
In the cut. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of, I know you said Atlanta, but for people that don't really know your roots,
Hmm.
can you explain a little bit about that and like how you got to Atlanta?
For sure, for sure. So I'm originally born and raised in Bad News in Hampton, Virginia, 757
DMV.
all there. I was born in Hampton General Hospital. Yep, yep. And so I got to Atlanta when I was 14, 15, I think it was. Yeah, like
Yeah.
2004, I think it was when I had got down here. But yeah, grew up in VA. Love VA. Still got most of my family back in VA. I don't come home as often. Well, up until last year. Up until last year, I hadn't come home quite as often as I wanted to. But I have been back home twice now in the past year, which is that's monumental for me because I just
Yeah.
I it's always something else that I would be doing, and so I kind of lost sight about coming home. I had
Mhm.
I had a few aunts kind of be like, "Hey, you ain't been home in a while. Like we haven't."
Yeah. Kind
So
of, yeah, tap call that phone, like, where you at?
they were home for the
Wild.
reunion this past year. Everybody lost their mind. They was like, "Oh my god, you actually here?" Yeah, and so no, yeah, I love being from home. I let folks know I was raised on the water for real. In Atlanta, they don't really know what that's like. A lot of people out here can't swim, so
Oh.
no, for real.
Or
So
they get shocked when they hear, like, a black person can swim. They're like, "What?
yeah,
What's that
and I'm like,
about?"
listen, I'm, like back home in VA, I'm like, we grew up on the water, literally. Like my projects
Mhm.
was literally on the water, and so that was like one of the dopest things, just growing up, not knowing that everybody wasn't privy to that. But so
Yeah,
yeah, I'm still VA, through and through. But I tell people I'm like, VA raised me, Atlanta made me. Like that's kind of like how I take it.
I got you, I got you. Okay, okay. What do you think sets the local music scene apart? Like, what is currently going on in Atlanta that's different from any other town or city?
So one of the other things, like the dopest thing, probably musically that I've been fortunate, like I said, since I got here in '04, that was literally at the turn of when Atlanta began to take over music internationally and just become like the epicenter of all things hip hop. And they really
Yep.
have like, loosened the grip for real. And the reason is the different parts of the city, whether it's the north side, east side, west side, south side, all the different zones, e- every area has its own mini culture within the main culture of the art form. And again, you see that from again, Atlanta's the same city that gave you Outkast. They also gave you Future. They gave you Goody Mob. They gave you Lil Jon. They gave you Jermaine
Endless.
Dupri. They gave you
Yeah.
Franchise Boys. They gave you like the list goes on and on and on and on, and all of that stuff still stays tried and true whenever you go out locally. Like when I go out and I'm doing shows or I'll go to parties and you just hear the diversity in a lot of the different artists, from like within the first 5 or 6 acts, you may hear four of those acts are completely different. Like that's something that Atlanta has kind of always been big on, like the diversity in
Yeah.
sound, and it's always been universally accepted. Like that's probably like the best thing and the dopest thing about just you just have no idea what you're gonna get. I've never
Yeah.
went there and everybody just sounds like the same. No, folks is like really out here creatively trying to be different.
Yeah, like mashing up different kind of genres and stuff.
100%. Like I did a show where I thought from reading the names, I thought I may be the only non-trap act, but then I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, there was a contemporary R&B act, there was an alternative act, there was a jazz musician there was a
Yeah.
saxophonist playing, and it was just like extremely. I was like, it was like America's Got Talent.
Yeah, that's lit. You
Yeah,
can literally see all types of everybody there.
yeah,
Okay.
it was really like that, and I was just like. I'm like, this is what the city always been about. Like, we just love the different styles
I love that. All right, all right, all right.
for sure.
So, are there any like local venues, events, or anything that you have coming up currently that you kind of want to shout out?
We have one coming up within the next month um, for a charity. I believe it's like a Relay for Life event coming up. I think we'll be performing there. So I'm excited about that one too. Like, I think it's like with the American Heart Society. So shout out to them too.
All right, all right. And let's see. Who do you think was your biggest inspiration?
Oh, wow. Musically, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so my biggest inspiration, it's not so much an individual as much as it's an era.
Okay. Okay.
And that era is mainly two eras. So for me, like I literally I'm a fan of all genres of music, but my biggest for me, I break music down into eras. And so for me, it's everything 80s. and
Okay,
then mostly 60s and 70s soul music.
I got
You
you.
know, so that's like the, from the Motowns on
Yeah,
into, like I said, when Michael really became Michael, Prince became Prince, and then you had, like I said, the likes of, your yacht rock, and then your Anita Bakers and your Sly and the Family Stone. It's just like that whole era, really from 1959 to like 1989.
yeah, like that good, like
Everything in between.
some
Yeah, and
family, like
yeah,
love music, like
it's
none of
just
that like hate type stuff going on.
right. And I'm just like, and it's just like when you just hear certain songs, and it's like before you even hear the words, the instrumentation instantly is like it puts you in the mood.
Right.
It's like when you heard "What's Going On" by Marvin, before he said a word, as soon as you heard that,
Mhm.
you really knew. Oh, he like you felt like where he was about to go, and then
Yep.
once he started speaking, it just confirmed what you were already like about to feel. That like growing up, I grew up. I lived with my grandma a lot of the time, and so she listened to a lot of that. My dad listened to a lot of that, and my mom as well. And so I was consuming so much,
Praise on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
of the OG music that I was always like an old soul,
Yep.
as they told me. And so I've kind of adopted that for me musically to a degree as well, where it's just like you can hear, old just to some of the classics in my tone and some of my verbiage, but then I make sure I make it current because I'm not a biter. I don't want to try to imitate Marvin. I
Right.
want to take those influences and make it my own. So
Make
yeah.
your own feel good music.
Oh yeah, shout out to the '80s and the '60s and the '70s. Those eras, like, you know,
Bomb era.
feel mad I never got to go to Studio 54 and do the hustle. Like I feel a way about that.
What?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, like I was born a little too late.
Yeah, I know it's always weird when you like look back on stuff like I don't know, you wouldn't have really thought it would not have been there, and now that it's not there, you're kind of just like, what the hell?
Right. And so like I'm a big like documentary head. Like so that like I love all things documentary, especially music or just history related. And
Yep.
yeah, when I watch some of those documentaries, I'm be like, I know exactly where I would have been. I'm like, I would have been in the middle of those parties, losing my mind. I would have been high. I would have been high like everybody else. Like yeah, we would have been having a blast. We would have been having a blast. Like, and so that's probably like one thing. I don't know if you were going to ask me that question, but that's one thing that I do miss about today's club scene is that the club, anywhere we go now, isn't really the club. Like over the
Yeah.
past few years, I've been in just about all 50 domestic states, and no, I haven't seen a real club in years. Everything is really lounge style. There's
Yeah.
no places to really have clubs, and I hate that for this new generation that never experienced the club before. Like they don't know what a dance floor looks like, and I
Mhm.
like I hate when we go and perform in some places and it's like, oh, here's a
You know
stage,
what?
but then it's like,
It's
oh,
awkward when you go and they don't have a dance floor, and it's like, how do you expect people to dance? What are we doing?
right. And so I'm just like, so you want the girls just to hold up the phone, just to
Just
stand right here and just say, yeah, and this, yeah, it's just so it's gotten so out of whack. I'm sure at some point
Mhm.
it'll correct itself as things always do, but yeah, I am probably disappointed in the state of like what the club scene looked like. Like I said, with 24 hours, I've performed at places where when people hear it for the first time, it it gets that same reaction. Oh, who's this guy? Let's see what he's about. Once I start going, and they're like, oh, this is good. And they
Yeah.
start dancing. They can't really get into it how they want to because they in
Yep.
a little
They
space.
don't. It's a little bubble. They got a bubble.
Yeah.
Can't
Even
step
me,
out that
I'm
bubble.
performing sometimes. I'm like, this isn't even the real stage right here. I'll be
Uh-huh.
like,
Yeah.
watch my step. And so I'm just like, man,
They're
we got
like,
to get back.
this fall, y'all, I'm suing.
Yeah, we got to get the clubs back. Like I think that's imperative. At some point, somehow, some way, we got to get them back.
All right. So if any local clubs listening, y'all heard, yeah, we need to work on that
Right,
situation.
right, expeditiously.
All right. All right. What advice would you give to any like local aspiring artists trying to make it?
So the first thing I would say, you have to wake up every day knowing that no matter how talented you are, no matter how good your music is, nobody at no level is going to believe in your music the way you do. Like I've sat in rooms, I've had label meetings, and just so many different things. I've had people literally who are button pushers literally tell me, "You're amazing. Your music is super dope. We just, want to see, what you do, outside of
Mhm.
all of this." Like, so I would always tell people, like, no matter what you do, you have to like remind like yourself that nobody pays attention until everybody pays attention. And so that's that whole like,
Facts.
people will tell you like you work your whole entire life to get there for them to call you an overnight success. Like that's just kind of how the industry works. Like you're going to work your entire life to get here, and then they're going to say, "Oh, how does it
Yeah.
feel overnight success?" And you'd be like, "Overnight?" You'd be like, "I've been
Yeah. It's like,
trying to
if only you knew.
right." And then secondly, I'll say this is some words that I live by. An older lady gave me these words of advice many years ago, and it's always stuck with me. And she told me that at that time I was like in my mid 20s, I think it was, just in a dark space, wasn't doing anything musically. It was just life was just life and really really what like really bad at that time. And I was in the gym, and she was on the bike next to me, and she had
Mhm.
told me she's like, "Listen here, sweetie. I just want you to know." She's like, "How old are you?" And I was like 25 at the time, and she was just like, "Just know," she said, "you've already survived 100% of your worst days. What's tomorrow going to do to you?" And once she said that, for whatever reason, it just resonated with me so much. And I was like,
Yeah.
I've already survived 100% of my worst days. What's tomorrow going to do? And so for whatever reason, like it was, I don't know what it was about the power in that statement for
It
me.
hits different. It
It's
hits different.
it's never left, and I've lived by it. And now as I see, what's going on with me musically,
Mhm.
something that I just constantly hold on to, because like I said, music is, it's not just an art form, but it really is a business, and it's such a grind, and you have to do a lot of the things that you don't want to do, don't like to do. Because with me as a creative, I literally only want to create. I don't want to
Yep.
do admin. I don't want to do any of the, meticulous
None
things.
of the other stuff. We don't want
Yeah,
that.
like I have like a team for support, but you know, I didn't. There was a time where I didn't have that at all, and even now, like
Right.
my team isn't a big team for real. It's like a couple of us. But before I even had that, I didn't have. It was literally just me, and it's still me for a lot of certain things still. But it's just one of those things where it's just like in a perfect world, I don't want to see nothing outside of creating. And like I said, when I'm, like when I'm doing interviews or performances, that's the only time I want to be available. I don't want to run my social medias. I don't want to do none of that, because
That's all like the tedious stuff. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
like, it's also draining because there's so many people reaching out for,
Mhm.
you don't know what everybody's reasons are. But you have to do your due diligence. So some people, it's just like you just wasting your time, and you just be like, oh my gosh, like this is like it can be really draining,
I'm sure.
to
I
take.
listen. I understand because once you like kind of get into like a room with someone and stuff like that, if they're like off, it kind of just immediately makes you off, and you're kind of like out of the zone at that point.
Yeah, and so you just be, and then you also have to understand when you're working with other creatives, like you gotta leave a space for you guys to kind of meet in the middle sometimes. Like it it's such a it's a psychological warfare that goes on, as a creative, like because you have your day-to-day life, but then working with other creatives. A producer is a creative, so is an engineer, so are other writers. And so you can get in the room and you can have an idea for something, but then you got three or four other people with three or four other ideas,
Yep.
and then now you start this psychological battle of, all right, like,
Like, how we gonna get this in
right,
the middle?
yeah, like what you mean you don't like my vision? Like what?
Right. Like,
Yeah,
what's wrong with my vision? What you trying to say?
right. Or you don't like how I did this? That didn't sound right to you? It sounds good to me. What do you think? Oh, well, I don't know. I'm kind of in between. And so it gets to be a lot sometimes. So I would always tell people, give yourself grace, man. Like give yourself grace. Like we're all really just kind of figuring it out, and there's no blueprint on how to become the best you,
Yep.
So just give yourself grace and time.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. What's your creative process like when you're writing or like coming up with a song?
So this one's kind of trippy. People who don't know me don't either don't understand it or don't believe it. So oftentimes, because I'm always on the go a lot, I
Mhm.
do a lot of I do a lot of writing, like freestyle writing in my car as I'm going to and fro. And it
Okay.
and so I relate it to the movie like Rain Man with Dustin Hoffman, how and Tom Cruise, how I'm like the real dichotomy of those two. Like Tom Cruise is like that, like the slick talking, marketer, and then Dustin Hoffman was like, I guess today we would call him autistic, you know,
Uh-huh.
and he just had like this gift for numbers, and like they went to the casino and they were hitting licks at the casino, and so it was just like there was no way to know how he did it, and so with me, conceptually, I'll ride to beats a lot, and it don't take
Yep.
that long. As I hear a beat, the my subconscious will literally tell me like, oh, this is this, and then I'll start to freestyle the words to fill in. I'll save them to myself, and I literally will like write it right there. So it don't take me that long to write a record, and I hear the entire song as I'm writing it in my head.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it's like I said, it's a very very unique process.
Yeah.
Mostly, yeah, like I can sit and write literally, but for me personally, most of the stuff I write, because most like when I'm driving by myself, I'm either playing music or I'm
Mhm.
listening to beats anyway, and so
Yeah.
I can have a hook before I leave like my block. A lot of the times, I'll hear
It
something.
just naturally flows.
Yeah, it naturally, because I don't believe in forcing things, and
Yep.
I'll try it. If I don't execute it, I'll be like, I'll come back to it. Like the song, I think one of the other ones. What was one of the songs you told me you liked? I think it was other than 24
Gypsy.
hours. I think it was Gypsy, right?
Gypsy. Yep.
Yeah. So the song Gypsy. So I was literally in traffic heading to go see my mom one night, had no plans of writing music at all whatsoever, and I just so happened to pop on YouTube because I was trying to check something for basketball,
Mhm.
but there was a commercial that was on. So when I tried to skip the commercial, I skipped that video, and then a beat came on, and I was like, "Oh well, a beat's on. Let me just hear it." And that
Uh-huh.
happened to be the Gypsy beat, and so literally before I left out my neighborhood, I literally said rolling all night like a 10 speed. And from there I had the entire hook before I made it to the interstate. Like it was
That's
literally that fast.
crazy.
Yeah, it was literally that fast.
You could literally like just drop a song like on your way to anywhere. Like, here you go.
Yeah, it was like really, really that fast. And then like I said, like with the verses, because I try to write from my like a state of, like I said again, my own reality a lot of the times, but
Yep.
then I may mix in reality of other, like some other loved ones around me,
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
sometimes just things that people have gone through. But like I said, but Gypsy itself, was a story about, like me and a past love interest. So it was just like she was just like so elusive for whatever reason. I could just
Yeah.
never have her the way I wanted her, and so that's where like that actually like really really came from.
Dope. Dope. All
Mhm.
right. Well, that is our time.
But I appreciate you having me. Thank you so so much.
Absolutely. All right. To our beloved listeners, your voice matters, your stories inspire, and your presence keeps the culture alive. Stay safe out there, love one another, lift each other up always. Until next time, be well, stay real, and be blessed. Peace and power. At the Current Cut Radio.
Tell me, did you get my call? Tell me if you did me wrong. Tell me where did we fall off? Tell me where you been, my love. Yeah. 24 hours in a day. Yeah, yeah. 25 you've been away. Yeah, yeah. That's about an hour too long. Tell me, did you get my call? Tell me if you did me wrong. Tell me where did we fall off? Tell me where you been, my love. Yeah. I can say I miss you true and be so drastic, yes I do. I don't wanna make no moves against your majesty, but I can't help myself, I feel like matches here. I don't wanna burn alone, should've been with me on the phone by now. I can't even think what you could be doing. Say something, you should have been in our home. Baby, come clean, where you been for so long? Ringing the alarm, alert everybody. Cause I called TT, Riri, and Nisha. And they said they haven't seen you, babe. 24 hours in a day. 25, you've been away. That's about an hour too long. Tell me, did you get my call? Tell me that you did me wrong. Tell me when you did fall off. Tell me where you been, my love. 24 hours in a day. 25, you've been away. That's about an hour too long. Tell me, did you get my call? Tell me that you did me wrong. Tell me when you did fall off. Tell me where you been, my love. See, I don't wanna hear excuses about no traffic, girl. And I don't wanna play the blame game with you at all. Now I know how sorry feels, and I know what problems is. Maybe wanna try again, but I don't know what the profit is. Oh. Feeling time gonna tick, 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 tick away. Cause I'm watching the clock going tick, tick, tick all day. Saying time gonna tick, 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 tick away. I've been watching, girl, I've been watching.